A new dawn is upon us. Never have our choices weighed more heavily.
So the Elder Scrolls Online takes place 1,000 years before Skyrim. And this is the first time people have come into the Elder Scrolls and really been able to play with their friends. And we think it's a very compelling experience to get in and play with somebody. And so we're really happy to bring, the world of Nirn and Tamriel into the players' lives where you can play together for the first time. Out on the show floor, what we've got for the players is they're playing what we have internally as a beta. And so what they're seeing is, for the first time, people are going to see, for instance, our compass. We have a compass direction. They're playing in the Ebonheart Pact, and they're playing the starting zones in the Ebonheart Pact. So right away, they found out that they've washed up on shore, and they're wondering, they're kind of disoriented. They're wondering what happened because they've just been told that they had their souls taken. And so they're going out on this island that we call Bleak Rock Island, and they're trying to rescue 12 people. And kind of in a nutshell, that's what they're experiencing on the floor right now. When we started with Elder Scrolls Online, one of the things that we really wanted to concentrate on was making sure that it had a fantastic combat system. Because as we looked at online games up to this point, we felt that, that visceral feeling of combat wasn't necessarily there. So that was one of the hallmarks we concentrated on. As well, we looked at things like world interactivity, which is a huge thing. I mean, it seems so simple but when you can pick up and just take something, it adds an extra, breath of life, so to speak. And especially if the NPCs react to you and what you're doing in the world, which is another thing we've gone with. A seemingly simple and small thing is the fact that the interface elements, we wanted to make sure we kept the interface really clean, so you're actually looking in the world. You're seeing first person into the world. You can play first person or third person, and really that was another goal, was to keep that interface very simple and yet engaging, so you're actually looking into the world when you're playing versus playing the interface. So bringing all those things into the online space was really important. Each of our skills, one of the other things about the progression lines is that as you use each of those skills, they kind of level up internally. And what this means is that they gain in strength and they gain in power. So the more you use something, the longer it takes for it to power up individually. But then you get to a point where you're using it and it does what we call morphing, which is it has a split. And you get to really customize how you want to use that ability. So not only do you get to customize, with your ability choices themselves, you get to customize within the abilities. I think one of the important things that the team felt strongly about was not making just your typical quest. And by that I don't mean, it's not a kill this thing quest. There's obviously kill, certain thing quests. But more importantly are how the quests are delivered to the player. So we have notes in the world scattered about, and they have little pieces of fiction, and boom, you find out that that has a quest. And if every note had a quest, that would be boring. So some notes don't have quests, and some notes don't lead to those chains. There's other things where NPCs will run up to you, because it's more believable if an NPC is in trouble for them not to wait around for somebody to come help. They're going to actively do that. So we'll have NPCs that run up to you. Some you'll just question, and it goes through naturally. And one of the things that we've tried to do that we haven't talked about very much is kind of streamlining the conversations that you have with NPCs to get quests, as an example. So when you're talking to an NPC at first, there's not a lot of choices, so you can get through pretty quickly. And what we found is that when you're playing with a group, they kind of want to, okay, let's get through this, you go ahead and get the quest. And so we wanted to make sure to streamline that. But then as they give you the quest, then there's all sorts of more information about the quest that opens up. You can question the NPC as much as you want. So we feel that how you present a quest is almost as important as what you do on the quest. And one of the things we really looked for in getting this into multiplayer was allowing you to play any way you want to play. And so what I mean by that is you can play as a solo player. And if you're playing as a solo player, sometimes that's just the way you want to play, right? And we don't want to force you to find a group to play with a group. But there are cases where we try to provide friction elements. So we have instances or dungeons where you go in and you need 4 people to do that particular dungeon or experience that story. There are things like we have what we call dark anchors that appear in the world, and they're really tough for one person, so you need a little bit. But you can play through the entire game solo. It's just these friction points that we put into the world kind of naturally that make them good for group experience. have beta signups still going on. I want them to sign up for beta. And secondarily, I would really like them to know that spring 2014 is our goal. PC and Mac, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.